Hey, welcome to the Healing She Got Faith show. I am Lily. I am the founder of Healing She Got Faith, and I am the host of the Healing She Got Faith talk show. Healing She Got Faith is an organization that was created for adults who are dealing with grief and or on their self-love journey. During this talk show, we talk about grief, healing, self-love, but overall, we are encouraging you to love you the way you love the world, okay? So we thank you all for tuning in. Hey Faithers, happy Monday and welcome to episode 121. We are in our welcome back series. This episode is called Taking a Break is Necessary. So happy Monday. I hope that you have enjoyed last week's episode, our first episode back from a hiatus. As we walk through this series, I am literally walking through the process I have been going through in life, these different transitions, how I got here, what am I doing here, like just the whole process. Also, too, a couple days ago, like three days ago, Friday was the 6-year anniversary of my mom's death, and so we're gonna talk about that. And then a week before that was the 6-year anniversary of the accident that caused my mom's death, and just really the worst day of my life. And so today we are going to take a deep dive into why taking a break is necessary. Also, too, let me just say I'm actually recording this earlier than I expected, which just goes to show that like taking a break has given me the motivation and energy to go ahead and knock these episodes out, which is so good. But let me tell you, I forgot the iPad that I was going to record on, because if you remember last episode, I was like, I just don't know how I'm going to record. I don't really know how I'm going to do the like the traditional way where I'm sitting on the couch. Last week, I was literally sitting on the chair with my iPad recording me with this background. I'm pretty sure this background is distracting, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, I forgot the iPad, and so I have another iPad. It's this huge one. And it didn't fit in the tripod that I have, and so I was like, I'm just gonna have to use my laptop. Also, too, I want to use the microphone. I'm gonna have to use my headphones. Honestly, I'm okay with it. It makes me feel like I'm a DJ. If you didn't know, fun fact about me, I used to DJ when I was like 15 years old. So it just makes me feel like a DJ. I feel like I'm a radio person now. I got my notes on here. So I don't know. I don't know. This may be the vibe of how I record, because I'm feeling like I'm on the radio. And when I started the Healing She Got Faith talk show, I was actually on a radio station, and I actually did used to record like this. I'm just kind of feeling that my DJ name was Old School DJ Lily, so I'm kind of feeling those vibes. I feel like I'm on the radio, you know. So So anyways, welcome to episode 121. I promise I will not be off topic like that throughout the episode. I just wanted y'all to know that like taking a break, even when things like that, like something like that during my break, I would have just went home and not recorded. But like honestly, I'm really happy to be back on the mic. I'm really happy to be back here, and I'm excited. So I made it work, and sometimes in life we just gotta make it work. So that was a life lesson for somebody who needed to hear it. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right into our icebreaker. Welcome to the icebreaker segment of the Healing She Got Faith talk show. Here we pull affirmation cards from different affirmation decks. We read them and we say if they resonate with us, why or why not. This is our one and only icebreaker. We do it at conferences, professional developments. We do it on the podcast, obviously. And really, it's just to get us to start talking about ourselves and to get comfortable. We are here to promote having a safe space. And so while you're here with Healing She Got Faith, we want you to feel safe enough to speak about where it is that you are in life. We are your safe space. All right, welcome to episode 121, the Welcome Back series. Taking a break is necessary. Welcome to our icebreakers. So I actually have 3 cards. Last week I didn't do a card, but today I felt like it, so I did it. So we pulled from Mindful Messages. I try to read their producers or authors if they have one. It's called Mindful Messages. I got it from Amazon or my bookstore, one of them. I have so many of these. I pulled 2 cards from there, and then I pulled these. I pulled one from the Stress Less cards by byYarkor. Yeah. Uh, the stress less cards, the card is really long. I don't know if I'll type it in the show notes, but I'll definitely type in the mindful message one. So we will see. Okay, so the stress less card, let's start with that one because it's the longest. This is take a mindful break. And I thought this was very on brand for talking about breaks. So it says turn your attention away from your smartphone. Turn your attention away from your smartphone or computer and simply take a few minutes to notice the sensations running through your body and mind. What sounds do you hear? Can you feel your heart pumping within your chest? Can you just be present in your body for a few moments? Try letting go of your usual preoccupations and taste being present in the here and now. Pay attention to this precise moment and breathe. Remove yourself from stressful situations for a few minutes to get your thoughts, emotions, and perspectives together. Taking a few moments to de-escalate the stress will help you navigate stressful events more effectively. All right, mindful messages, card number 1. Coming my way. Unique opportunities align with my desires present themselves to me. I attract all that I need to make my dreams a reality. Card number 2 from mindful messages. All is okay. All that I feel is okay. I hold myself in love through the unsureness, the worry, doubt, anger, fear, anxiety, rejection, or overwhelm. I am thankful to feel the full range of emotions that I do. These emotions are the very contrast that leads to my higher expansion. Whew. So take a mindful break from the stress list cards. I think this is just such a good reminder that in situations to remember you're human and we literally need to take a break. Like we need the break from social media, from electronics. We're currently, as I'm recording this, we are in a Verizon wireless national outage. Like my phone has been on SOS all day. And it's been great. I mean, there's people who are really struggling, but like sometimes these outages may not be a conspiracy theory. It may just mean that like we literally just need a break. Like I know it can be frustrating for your phones not to work because you pay for them, but also too, like how addicted are we to these things? Like take a break. You know, I talk about my journey with float therapy and how I really like it because it deprives you from sensory overload, or just sensory in general, I should say. And I really enjoy it because I can be in a room with water, listening to music with a light that represents how I feel, or in complete darkness. And it takes me away from all the electronics. It takes me away from the world. And I just think like we need to further expand ourselves in experiencing less sensory. And then the last part where it says remove yourself from stressful situations for a few minutes to get your thoughts, emotions, and perspectives together. Like sometimes we really speak out of emotions that we just don't need to. And like sometimes it's okay to take a break. Like seriously, it's okay to take a break and to just walk away. Like we tell children that, like as adults, you should do that. And it's okay. It's okay if someone pisses you off and you say, you know what, at this moment, I'm not going to be the very best self. So I'm going to go ahead and relax. Or, hey, like I'm done talking. Like I can't continue to do this. I'm not going to do this. Like, yeah. So anyways, yeah, I thought that was really good. I might actually write all of that. It's really long. Okay, and then the first card coming my way. Unique opportunities aligned with my desires present themselves to me. I attract all that I need to make my dreams a reality. I've always talked about cards like this, cards that say I attract all that I need to make my dreams a reality. I'm not going to say I'm a person who 100% believes that. I don't know that I attract the things that I need to be to make things come true. I feel like I've been trying it and my life just hasn't shown that. Am I upset about it? No. Am I quick to pivot. Yeah, so I don't know, but do I think things are coming my way? Yes. Do I think that the law of attraction and what's for, like, I don't necessarily know that I believe in that kind of stuff. Like, I have issues with those type of theories. And even in, like, a lot of, like, I used to be like really heavy in the church, and just that thought of like, if you do good it comes to you. I just don't know that I believe that. I think that things happen in life because life is life, and I think that sometimes things come and we're ready for it, and sometimes things don't go our way and we're not necessarily ready for it. Sometimes things are protection, but I don't know that I attract all that I need to make my dreams a reality. And I think this is a very real conversation that I think more people should have, especially like with the era of positivity and the era of TikTok, just what the influence is, and just knowing that, like, you can really, really believe in yourself and it still won't work out. Oh, I just read this book, y'all, How to Not Drown in Glass Water by Angie Cruz. And the main character, Kara, was talking about, I think it was her friend or a family member. And basically her friend was like, if you do good in the world, if you do good in the world, it will come back to you. And Kara was like, I love that she thinks that way. I love that that's how she feels. But if you look at somebody like me, who I've worked hard my whole life, and I'm sitting here in front of a caseworker, and you see that like my life just hasn't turned out, like, you couldn't tell that I was a hard worker. So I don't know that it's, if you work really hard, it'll come for you, or it'll show you, or that you need to be lucky. And she just happens to be a lucky girly, and I just happen to be somebody who has to continue to fight and move. I'm not complaining, but it's just the reality of my situation. I paraphrase that is not in the book, but oh my gosh, if I think I have it quoted on my Goodreads. Oh my gosh, I like that. That's how I feel. Like, some of us, you can't tell that we work hard. You cannot tell that we work 12-hour shifts and working 3 to 4 jobs. Like, you can't tell, but we'll make it look good. Like, we'll be happy. Like, I don't complain, but I mean, sometimes I do. But I'm not gonna sit up here and dog walk my life. But it's just stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Anyways, that's the tangent I don't want to get on because I want to hop into this episode. But the other one says all is okay. I 100% believe this. All that I feel is okay. I hold myself in love through unsureness. I think this is how I truly feel. Like, no matter how I feel, no matter what I'm going through in life, I hold myself in love, and I celebrate myself, and I love who I've become, and I love who I'm becoming, and I love my old self. Like, I love who she was. I'm thankful to feel the full range of emotions that I do. I allow myself to feel everything that I feel. If I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. If I'm gonna cuss you out, I'm gonna cuss you out. Like, I allow myself these feelings, and I'm happy and proud of that, because I have parents who could not do that. So I am ecstatic that I have got to a place in my life where I can allow these things to happen. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. I am okay that Healing She Got Faith is no longer in service. I am okay that I am single, even though I desire love. I am okay that I'm not making 6 figures, even though I told my therapist that by June I was going to be making 6 figures. I am okay with that, because I'm okay with knowing that I know I've done everything I could in this life. Sometimes it just don't work. I am okay. So all is okay. That's what the card says. I believe it. All right, y'all. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the topic of the day, which is taking a break is. Welcome to the topic segment of the Healing She Got Faith talk show. In this portion of the episode, we discuss the topic of the day, which is the title of this episode. So we really pride ourselves on talking about grief, healing, being present, and just having an opportunity to be safe enough to be who you are. I hope in this episode you're able to take it with you, and I hope you're able to give yourself permission to heal the way you need to heal. We love you, but as always, love you the way you love the world. Enjoy the topic. Necessary. All right, welcome to episode 121. We are in our welcome back series. This episode's title is called Taking a Break is Necessary. So let me ask y'all a question, and I want y'all to think about this as you listen to this podcast. Have you ever felt like taking a break was being lazy? Have you ever had a moment when you knew you did everything you could and things were not working out? One of the reasons why I gave you guys a couple seconds of silence is because I really want you to think about that, because at some point in life, we were taught that taking a break is lazy, going to sleep is lazy. Like, I don't know if y'all grew up with like the adults in your life being like, I'll sleep when I die. I've lost too many people. Please sleep now. Please sleep now. I have lost too many people. Like, I want you here. I want you present. And this is coming from a person who I'm working 2 jobs and running. I want to say run the business, but I'm not really running the business as I used to. I'm more so planning a couple of community activities and in the podcast, which I can. I'll probably go in more detail about that, if not this episode, as we go into the welcome back series. So but I think the reality is sometimes taking a break is the remedy to what we need to get back in our feet. And I see so many people who are like, I just lost my creativity, I'm over it, there's a lot going on, I don't know what to do anymore. And I was that person. Like, I opened my business in 2020 during the pandemic. Had no idea how to run a business. Had no idea what I was doing. I really thought I was going to be successful because I was a hard worker. Went full-time 100% entrepreneur. Living off of savings. At the time, I was living in New York. Bought a building, bought my house. And fast forward 2024, it just didn't exist. It just, nothing that I did was working, and nor was it helping my life, nor was it healthy, nor was it anything I imagined. It really sucked. And I think that we need to talk more about it, because social media will have you out here thinking that everybody is successful, everybody has money, everybody has a team. I mean, and there's people out here that really think I'm rich. Y'all only think I'm rich because I don't mind spending money. I will spend money, and I will spend money like I got it, okay? Like, that's the only reason. But when I finally decided that I was going to take a break and I was no longer going to fully depend on Healing She Got Paid to fund my life, and I cut my services off, and for a while, like, I wasn't even coming to my building. Like, there was nobody at my building. There is a person here who uses my building. She had a baby. So, like, literally went months without touching my building. Like, the bills were still getting paid, but, like, literally went months. But I say all that, and I want you to know that I'm completely at peace with where my life is, what I'm doing, where I'm going. And I can honestly say that I feel like my life is coming together at this moment. And as I mentioned earlier, my mother's 6th death anniversary just passed. And for the first time in the 6 years since I've lost her, my body did not feel like it normally does. Like, normally I'm sad. Normally my body is achy. Normally, like, my body just speaks to me. And so, when September 28th came around, like, I felt normal. Like, I knew the day was coming. So September 28th was the day of the accident that my mom and brother were in. If you don't know that story, I will go more into that. Probably not this episode, but maybe next episode. And from this episode until November at some point. You can also read my book, which you can buy off of Amazon. Everyone Has a Story about Lisa Nolan. Or you can go back to older episodes and listen to the story. I've talked about it quite a few times, but eventually. But this episode, I'm not really too much going to talk about it. I don't think so anyways, unless my mind goes somewhere else. Anyways, But I knew the day was coming. I knew it was quickly approaching. But like normally I'm sad. Normally I can't function. And this year that just wasn't the case. And I think there are two reasons for that. One, I'm working multiple jobs and just working a lot. So like I may not have time to process it. But two, I think my biological clock just didn't catch it this time. So I've been reading quite a few articles that mention neuroscience scientists explaining how grief remembers our experience with grief. And the term that they use is procedural memory or basically muscle memory. So basically, your body, your mind, your physical emotions remember the time that tragedy struck. It remembers the time that grief struck, right? And so remember here, when she got faith, grief is not just death. We call that grief beyond death. We do talk about unconventional grief. We talk about breakups, divorce, abortion, miscarriages, pet loss, um, disenfranchised grief. Like we talk about all of that, which is basically not your traditional grief, which your traditional grief would be death. And I say all that to say, basically, our brains don't forget. I'll add it in the show notes, but there was a really good article on hopegroup.org. I'll add it in the show notes. And they basically talk about how grief has a huge effect on our physical and mental bodies. We will see changes in how we sleep, eat, our behavior, our memory, and even our immune system. And that's crazy. Like, we talk a lot about like grief and depression and how like those two go hand in hand, but also too, like we don't think about how like grief will straight affect us. Like, yeah, when my mama died, I straight gained weight. I blew up like a balloon. Like I was over 250 pounds. I went from like 160 to 250 pounds. That's a lot of weight. That was from grief. I blew up like a balloon, y'all. I kind of already talked about it, but like on the day of on the date of the accident, 6 years later, I just felt completely normal. I wasn't sad or lonely. I think what contributes to that was me taking a break. Also too, y'all, I started taking like getting back on vitamins and just really taking care of myself. Like, yeah, I have been saying for years I need a morning and nighttime face routine, and I finally got one. And it's not like expensive or really like intense, but like every morning and every night, I try to have a face routine. I take care of my hair. I take care of my body. Like I'm learning about like products that are just really good for my body. I'm really into. I started like getting my house together, and I just been like just organizing, sweeping every day. I got 4 dogs and a cat, like sweeping every day, wiping off the walls, like literally like every day I'm spending 1 to 2 hours in my household to make my house a home. It's not easy. Like right now, my outside looks a mess with yard work and just things that I'm getting away. Like I'm about to call 1-800 junk to come get a whole bunch of stuff, and I contribute that to like taking a break because I really had to get my whole life, my holistic life together. And in this year, like I just realized I was grieving so much. My business had failed. I wasn't making anything. Nothing was being done with my books. My podcast did have the most views when I took that break. When I did all those guests back in, it was April and May. But like I didn't have the tenacity, I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the resources to continue with the podcast. Like I just didn't have it. And even then, like I had quite a few guests in April and May, and a lot of them were supposed to like come back in June to help me do like May and June to help me do like Mother's Day, Father's Day. We were gonna do like these big podcasts, and then we were gonna do like part twos and follow-ups, and like it just didn't happen. But also too, like that fell on me because I didn't have it to give. Like there was nothing left for me to give. um I was applying to places for with higher salaries. Like at the time, I was working a part time job that just was not for me, and so I was like, I'm gonna get these jobs. I hired a career coach. Like I was really in my bag trying to get better. Like I was really, 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 really trying, and couldn't get a call back. Couldn't get hired. Couldn't get nothing. Nothing. I couldn't get nobody to watch my TikTok. I couldn't get nobody to watch my podcast. I couldn't get nobody to call me back. I couldn't get no feedback. Like I was just in a bad place. I needed money and I needed help. And I had been asking people for help. And like I said, I hired a career coach. Um, but like and I talked about this in the last episode, like people can support you, but like people may not have the space to actually put action behind the support. So they may look at you and be like, I really support you, I'm really proud of you, and I'm here for you. But when it comes to like, hey, I need you, some people just can't. And it sucks. Some people just can't. I have one right now. I have one really, really good friend who she was seeing me spiral. And she just literally was like, how can I, like, she came over to help my dogs. She would come to the building and recharge the doorbells, the ring cameras, and all that. And like that meant a lot to me because like I was really struggling, and like even just doing those little tasks like helped me so much. I was lonely. I felt like I was having the same conversation with folks and nothing was changing. Yeah, even my therapist, she asked me, and I actually don't even see the therapist no more. And honestly, it was I was going through BetterHelp, and I had been with my therapist for 3 years. But money got tight. Money got so tight, and then I ended up getting hired at my full time and part time job, who both offer free therapy to employees. So I just told her like I'm gonna have to like stop this because I need to catch up financially. But this summer I went to Costa Rica, and there were a couple people that like I was telling her, I was like, I really just need to have conversations with X, Y, and Z. And she was like, how many conversations are you going to have with people? Like, how many more conversations can you have? Lisa, you have came in here for 3 years and you have told me about these people. And the reality is, I think they're really good people and I think they're friends, but they cannot give you the quality time that you're looking. You are only asking for quality time. You only want to hang out with people. And they can't do that for you. So how many conversations are you going to have? And that made me realize, just like with my business, with the people I love, I have tried everything. I've tried conversations. I've tried communication. I've tried comprehension. I've tried planning. I've tried switching my schedule up. I've tried planning ahead. I've tried doing less. I have tried. And I know that I have been there and showed up in the best way I could. And even when I couldn't, I was still showing up. There were times where I had nothing in my bank account. I was still showing up for people. There were times where I had worked and worked and worked and was still showing up for people. I had done everything. And at a point, I really felt like I was begging. And I didn't want to. I really want to be around people who want to be around me. Like, and I know that's hard to say. It's really hard for me, and I'll be honest with y'all. It's really hard for me because I'm single and I'm childless, and most of my friends are married with children, and then like my single friends are just really busy with work, and some live out of state. um, and it's really, really hard. And I try not to use the word but as much anymore. I like and I really want to be around people who really make an effort to be around me. And to be completely honest, that's how I felt. I feel like people love me and people support me, but people don't put effort for me. And I feel like I have always been a person who has been so busy because I'm always supporting everybody else that I just don't want to. I don't want to keep having the same conversation with people. That was also part of my break. So as I'm going through that transition, I get hired full time to a job I prayed for over a decade. It's the organization, it's the position, it's even the people I wanted to work with. Over a decade, I've prayed for this. I have said, I'm going to work here. I have said that for over a decade, and I got hired. I got hired as seasonal and eventually full time. When I got hired on seasonal, I did not know that I would be hired on full time because I didn't know I would take the position. I didn't know they would offer it. I didn't know because like I had such a standard of a salary. But it did come to a point where I was like, I need something. Like I cannot keep living off of survival. And then the most healing part-time job hired me, y'all. The most healing. I was literally, and I'm still literally working at 2 jobs that one of them is really, really stressful. But I work with such a good team and they prioritize work-life balance and mental health that even on the hard days, I would still rather be there than working somewhere who just doesn't care. And in my part-time job, I feel the same way that I did as a consumer that I now do as an employee. I love it. I got back to work. The money starts to come in and I start to feel better. I know they say money can't solve everything, but to be honest, all of my issues were financial. I was struggling and in a deep depression financially because I could not afford life. On top of, I just felt like I just didn't have the support. Like, even now when I talk to people and I was like, oh, like, there were days where I couldn't eat. There were days like my bills, like I literally went from debt free to I maxed out all my credit cards. Literally, I was living on my credit cards, and like I have been honest with people all throughout, and I've asked for help. And like when I talk to people and they're like, "I didn't realize you were that bad," it's because you didn't listen. That's because you didn't want to believe it. I don't know why people didn't hear me because I was talking. And that's something in therapy I talked about too. Like, I've just always felt like I'm throwing up these red flags, asking for help, and people just be like, "That's a cute flag, girl. I love the color. You should wrap it on your head." Like, even with my parents, like I've just always felt like that. I just always feel like I'm shouting for help, and just nobody had listened. And um, I just think back to when nothing was coming in, and I don't even know how I survived that. And shout out to the people who saw that and stuck by me and still by me. Like, and shout out to the people who had to take care of their own mental health. Because it's no shade to anybody. This is just me going through what I'm going through. And what that came to was like, I had to step back from everything. I had to work on my debt. I had to work on my schedule. I had to make very hard decisions to let my baby go, which is my business. And taking a break was the most phenomenal thing I could have done. My creative juices came flowing back. My motivation, my bills are paid, y'all. Like, my bills are paid, okay? Like, I like, that's amazing. My debt is coming out. My credit score is going back up. Like, yeah, imagine going from like a 750 to like a 500. Like, imagine not owing anybody money to now owing everybody money. You know what I'm saying? Like, life will come at you fast. You know, man, it's just crazy. I was like just thinking about that. Taking a break was the most phenomenal thing I could do. When I say like everything just came flowing back, it was necessary. It was needed. It was needed. I could eat. Like, it's crazy. The only real thing I really need to get back into is working out. I mean, I'm still doing little stuff here and there, but it's not as intense as I was. Like, I was in the gym bag. I was a gym girly, okay? I need that real bad. But I say all this to say taking a break is needed. I think sometimes we try to be strong and keep going, but the most powerful thing that we can do is step back. The most strong thing. You really want to be strong? Give yourself that permission to rest. You really want to be strong? Take a step back. You really want to be strong? Set those boundaries and stand in it. That's what's really gonna make you strong. Pushing through, which, and don't get me wrong, like I have been working 7 days a week for probably the last 2 months, catching up financially, and like it has taken a toll. Especially now, I have like probably a group of like 4 or 5 friends that really, really want to like see me, and I physically don't have the time because I've been working so much. And again, I'm really blessed with both my jobs. Like, one of the jobs I can work from home with like 85% of the time, and the other job is really simple, easy, and I can bring my laptop there if I have some time. I can hop on real quick as long as my duties are done. So it's really I'm in a really good place, and I'm catching up, and I'm just in a better place, and I really love that for myself. um so I think the most powerful thing you can do is to take a step back and just rest in the agony. Take a step back in that pain. Like, it's gonna suck. I'm not telling you it's gonna feel good, because it's not. Like, you are about to grieve everything you are going to let go. Okay? But like I got on this chain and say Healer She Got Faith. Like, I was able to buy that. Do y'all know it's been years since I wore jewelry? Because one, I simply couldn't afford it. And two, like, I just lost myself. I forgot how much I love jewelry. I love jewelry. I feel my inner mom coming out. My mom loved jewelry. Like, these name necklaces. I ordered some name rings. Like, yeah, I feel absolutely beautiful. Like, I'm coming back to myself, and it was because I took a break. Um, Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is let go of what we thought was ours. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is let go of what we thought was ours. Because sometimes it's not going to work. Sometimes it's not for you. Or sometimes it is for you and it's just not the time. But sometimes we got to let go for it to be ours. Sometimes being honest, and sometimes we have to be honest and saying, I tried it, it didn't work, and now I have to let it go. Sometimes we have to practice that more because I see a lot of people being like, I don't want to give up. I'm not a quitter. I'm not this. I'm not that. Sometimes you got to be a quitter. Sometimes you got to let it go. Sometimes it ain't for you. Sometimes it ain't going to work. Okay? You have to know that you tried. You have to know that you put your all into it. You have to know that you did what you could do. And you have to know that taking a break and stepping back is okay. It's okay that it didn't work out. It's okay that you had to pivot. It's okay to take a break. You're not lazy. You're not selfish. Your body needs a break. It's not working out because you haven't taken a break. I'm telling you that right now. It's not working out because you haven't taken a break. So keep that in mind. I guarantee you, I wasn't finding a job because I wasn't taking a break. I wasn't ready. So just keep that in mind. It's not yours because you haven't taken a break. I'm going to end it right there. I love you, but love you the way you live the world. And as always, we will end on our affirmation. All right, so you are now about to hear our affirmation. I want to give you an affirmation to carry for the week. So from Monday to Monday, you at least have an affirmation that you are repeating to yourself every day. She got faith. Listen, we want to give you affirmation to get through the week. So enjoy. All right, welcome back to the end of the show. This is episode 121. Taking a break is necessary. I hope you guys heard that message. I hope that it resonates with you. And maybe if it doesn't resonate with you, maybe it has you thinking about somebody. So go ahead and send them this episode, okay? So the affirmation that we are going to end on is, it is okay to take a break. I am well rested. I need rest to feel alive. I am not lazy for taking a break. I want you to repeat this to yourself for the next 7 days, every morning and every night. It is okay to take a break. I am well rested. I need rest to feel alive. I am not lazy for taking a break, because you're not. We just had a whole episode, and I want to end on this. Think about this. It is probably not yours currently because you haven't taken the break. And that is a hard reality. But I want you to consider taking a break because you deserve it. You've worked hard. Acknowledge everything that you've done and know that it's okay to take a break. Taking a break is necessary. All right, y'all. That is episode 121. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I love you, but love you the way you love the world, and we'll catch you next Monday. All right, we have came to the end of our show. I really appreciate you for listening and sticking with us and coming every Monday at 3 p.m. Central to hang out with us. I appreciate you guys. I can't thank you enough. To my listeners, followers, everybody, friends, family who loves and believes in everything that I'm doing. I really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you, but I always want you to remember to love you the way you love the world. And I'll catch you next Monday. Bye, guys.